Before I introduce Cornelia, we also have another guest that came with her. I wanted to introduce to you. He's new to us. Chris Sloan is the new executive director of the Symphony of the Mountains. Chris's prior role was as director of the Mountain Mission School in Grundy, Virginia. A lot of you may be familiar with that if you've been to Christmas concerts. I know you've seen people from there. What I'll say about Cornelia, she's a jewel. She began her musical career in Europe, receiving her diploma in piano from the Conservatory in Winterthur, and then graduated from the Conservatory and University in Zurich, Switzerland, with a master's in music education. In Europe, she was a music director of the Operetta Theater in Moroccan, Switzerland, and she had several other engagements in Europe, including one at the renowned La Scala in Milan, which I've been to. It's pretty spectacular. She came to the U.S. and received her master's degree in orchestra conducting at Northwestern University. She has worked with many orchestras in the U.S., Ithaca, New York, Salina, Kansas, Asheville, Brevard, North Carolina, and Knoxville. But prior to coming here, she was the music director and conductor of the Oak Ridge Symphony. And this is hard to believe, she is now in her 17th year here as the music director and conductor of the Symphony of the Mountains. She brings, one of the things I really like, she brings music from a European background and combines it with different genres of music from her adopted U.S. And this season booklet and things she put on the table speaks to that, music from near and far. See the picture, that's from the Alps to Appalachia. And I think that says a lot about the things that we've had. This has led to our symphony being the first orchestra in Tennessee to tour Europe, performing with their fellow Swiss natives, the Kruger brothers. And many of you may have seen them out at Allendale with a spectacular concert they had there. She's able to attract world-renowned guest artists, as a recent concert at the Toy Reed Hall at Eastman showed. I've personally been sort of involved with the symphony for 45 years. I know you don't think I'm that old. As a donor, as a board director, a board member, I've watched this orchestra grow from a Kingsport orchestra of amateurs to a regional orchestra of professional musicians. And I would put it up against any orchestra in this country. We are truly blessed to have this organization as a real jewel in our community. And now join me in thanking Cornelia for all she means to us and for being here today.
So I like all kind of music. So Symphony of the Mountains has 3 words: entertaining, educating, and enriching. And today I would like to show you a little bit like how I came here from Switzerland, and then how Symphony of the Mountains connects with these 3 words. In Switzerland, every kid learns to play the recorder at 7 years old. We think that's the easiest way to learn how to read music. So I started to play recorder, and when I was 8 or so, this guy came to town and he founded an orchestra called Tanto Presanto, and everybody who played an instrument could come. So we had like 4 pianos and 10 trumpets and 7 violins and whatever, you name it, but we also had 70 recorder playing kids. And he composed the pieces for us, and he took us on the road for concerts and TV and such things. So one of the things that I brought here, we now, in the sense of entertaining, educating, and enriching, have a program at the YWCA in Bristol, where we teach the at-risk girls to play the recorder. We take them on tour for little concerts. When I was 9, I started to learn to play the piano. Now I come from a non-musical family. My mother played a little piano, my father played the radio really well. So this kind of family, and practicing on a piano, you know, is loud and annoying. So I wasn't really encouraged to do that. When I was 16, I got a new piano teacher. Her name was Leonore Katsch. She was a Jewish woman who got deported by the Nazis during World War II, and briefly before the end of the war was able to escape to Switzerland. She found a new home there, and I was very fortunate that she became my teacher. So one day I was warming up and the door wasn't properly closed, and she came in and she yelled at me and she was like, "Cornelia, you're so musical, you're hiding your musicality from me." And she told me her story and she said, "You have a gift that you don't have to hide, but with that gift of music, you can bring joy to people, you can bring peace to people." She was playing in concentration camps for people who were there, for the people who captured her, and that's how she survived. So that was the moment when I realized, wait a minute, my musicality is not something that's just a noise when I'm practicing, but maybe I can make a difference in people's lives with it. And that's what I keep trying to do with Symphony of the Mountains. It's all about people and how can we reach people through music. So that came from there. I then got a master's in choral conducting, in piano and in music education from Switzerland. So I worked with kids, so I'm doing a lot of children's programs. I play the piano still kind of when nobody hears it. I don't have a lot of time to practice. And then I started doing more and more operettas and operas and wanted to learn more about orchestra conducting. And that's why I went to Northwestern University to study with a Russian composer, Viktor Yampolsky. And then I came to Knoxville as associate conductor, and ever since Tennessee is my home, and I love it here. So I come out of Northwestern University with all my education and all the universities, and I get my first job. And it's with the Knoxville Symphony. Kirk Trevor was music director at that time, he hired me. And the season starts and he conducts the masterwork opening concert. And the next day he calls me and says, "Honey, I'm leaving tomorrow for 2 weeks, you're on." And I said, "No, I'm not on, because Olivia Newton-John was coming the next weekend to do 2 shows. And he said, "Oh yeah, you have like 40 minutes of rehearsal time for an hour of music and you're in charge of doing all of this." So I was like, oh, I'm ready, right? I have education. So I walk in there, the sound guy has a question, the stage guy has a question, the road manager of Olivia Newton-John, I had no idea, none. I went with the, "Well, what have you done in the past" thing. So learning by doing, that's another thing that I'm trying to do around here with young musicians at universities, like what they didn't teach us in music school, to maybe prepare them a little bit more for what reality there would be. Then things happen that you can't get yourself ready for. So another orchestra, not this orchestra, we did a Christmas concert, and in the first half of the concert we did Messiah, part of Messiah. So I used the smaller string section and I'm conducting in the concert, and I see how one of the viola players' eyes started turning and she went to sleep. This is on stage in the concert, right? Nobody can reach her. So I'm like, okay, I must be really inspiring. So that was my first thought. But anyway, when the trumpets who were sitting behind her 10 minutes into the piece started playing, she was like, where I am. So in the intermission, I went up to her and I was like, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Why?" And I said, "You just slept 10 minutes on stage in a concert." "Oh yeah, I was a little tired." And I said, "Well, do you want to keep playing?" "Oh yeah, I feel much better now." So another call I got 10 minutes before downbeat for a rehearsal. "Cornelia, I'm on my way, but I forgot my teeth." Teeth? Yes. "Do you want me to come to rehearsal on time without my teeth, or go home and get my teeth?" So I opted for the teeth, but I'm just saying what they didn't teach us in conducting school. So back to Symphony of the Mountains, entertaining, educating, and enriching. We are a regional orchestra serving Northeast Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, and North Carolina. That region is reflected in our whole organization, starting with the board, with the musicians. We have 2 youth orchestras, we have the Voices of the Mountains, we have a Women's Symphony Committee. Everything is regional. So I guess the entertaining part is kind of the easiest to understand. We're a symphony orchestra, so a lot of people think we're only playing classical music that is only for rich, well-educated, whatever people. But that's not what Symphony of the Mountains is. Symphony of the Mountains only exists because it serves every person in this region with all kind of tastes of music. So yes, we do perform the big masterwork concerts with Tchaikovsky and Mozart and all those guys. But we do all kind of music. We have done concerts with Charlie Daniels. We just had the Krüger brothers here. We've done other bluegrass things. We do patriotic concerts, movie concerts, educational concerts. And we take the orchestra out to areas where people are too far away to come in. So we try and reach as many people as we can through music. Again, because I learned that early on that can make a difference in somebody's lives. We just did a concert last Saturday and Sunday with a great artist called Roy Cornelia Smith. He's originally from Big Stone Gap, and he did a concert with us, and we had an appearance by another tenor, a surprise appearance. So we attract really big artists here as well. Then the education part is a very important part for all of us at Symphony of the Mountains. I'm just going to tell you about a few programs. So we have the YWCA for the at-risk girls, and Chris came to a class with me yesterday and he was playing the recorder as well, and I have a picture, it's for sale. We take
no audio.
We take those girls to nursing homes and to hospitals to perform, and there you can see one-on-one what music does. Those girls come from some very, very difficult situations. Well, they learn fairly quickly in music that the group is only as good as the weakest person in that group. So without us adults explaining you have to help each other, they start to learn that just through music. When we started this, they were very shy. Now they go out to nursing homes, they perform, they're proud. So through music we give them something. We collaborate with universities, colleges, schools. We invite them to perform with us. We go perform there. We have the Voices of the Mountains, which is an adult choir, but we also work with the children's choir. We have the youth orchestra. We work with Suzuki strings. We have a program that is called Exceptional Orchestra, which is for children with and without disabilities. So we have 6 Saturdays where children come in and do art. So we collaborate with all art organizations, from storytelling to acting to ballet to music. And then it comes all together in a big concert with the orchestra and with all of these children. So we had a boy in there who you didn't know if he realized that something was going on. So our flute player went up to him every time and performed for him, and you could really see how he was opening up. So now the parents can use that as a tool when the boy closes up. He was also the one who opened the concert. He could barely move, but he could do this. So we put a rain stick on his arms, and he got to open the concert like this. So again, it's music bringing us together, no matter where we are or where we come from. We also have a young artist competition, like if you were at the concert on Saturday, that soprano who sang was a winner of that organization. And then what I'm especially happy about, we have a free student and children ticket program. Every student can just come and you'll get handed a ticket. So looking out at the audience, you know how many symphony orchestras are worried that our audiences are getting older. When I look out, we have all age groups, and that makes me very happy. Another thing I very strongly believe in are collaborations. So we invite a lot of people to perform with us, and one that I would like to highlight right now is a concert we call Our Voices Rise Together. We did that in February of 2020, right before everything locked down. So we had the orchestra, the Voices of the Mountains, the Mountain Mission School Choir. We had the Unity Choir, which is a combination of African American church choirs, the ETSU Gospel and International Choir, world-renowned African American soloists, and in addition, we invited all church choirs of this area to join us for 2 pieces. So they came into one rehearsal, and then we did those 2 pieces in the concert together. So the goal to bring people together through music, here is an example. That's right. Yeah, no, that was right.
Oh, never mind. We are going.
Yes, that was right. No. No, the other one.
34.
Yes.
We will get it. I promise.
He plays recorder better than he does. So you see the Voices of the Mountains up there, and then all the other choirs joining us in front and throughout the hall. Okay, I rest my case. So, thank you. I think that was one of the strongest events we hosted for this community. And we have planned a similar concert like this on February 10th. So this coming February. It's at Eastman again. It's a free event. It's in the brochure. I hope no pandemic after this one. So we're excited about this. So February 10th at 7 p.m. free concert. Now enriching, I guess, is pretty clear after what you just saw there. So last fall I started a new program that is hopefully enriching even more, I'm sorry, even more people's lives who we have not reached before. The program we call Path to Dignity, and we're trying to reach people who are unsheltered with music. We co-commissioned a violin concerto by Lucas Richmond that was performed, world premiered in April here. What we are doing is we take our musicians to shelters, to food distribution places, to camps, and we perform for people who are in need. And then in the spring we had a concert in Bristol at the First Baptist Church where we invited everybody who wanted to come, our regular patrons, everyone, and people who are unsheltered, who usually wouldn't come. We had a huge turnout. After that, we had a symposium in that church with leaders from agencies who help, who talked. People who are homeless were talking. We provided a boxed lunch sponsored by Food City. And it was a big success. And what are we trying to do? I know I can't fix the problem, but I can use the orchestra to raise awareness. And I believe that music is for the soul what food is for the body. So we are trying to give them some beautiful moment, something to maybe give them hope and maybe help them on their path to dignity. We continue this program now. We're out in several shelters and food banks this and next week, because on Sunday, the 28th, we're performing at the Paramount, and we're handing out free tickets to people who are in need. And then the day after, on the 29th, we perform here at the Farmers Market, and that's a free concert. We started that during the pandemic. We had Beethoven's Fifth planned. Eastman closes again. I'm like, we're gonna perform Beethoven's Fifth, and if it's in my backyard. So we found the Farmers Market, and the acoustics are really good. So it's a cool place, and so we said, okay, we're gonna do this every year. So that's what's going on. About this Path to Dignity. Sunday at 3 o'clock, yes, on the 29th. So I have a little video clip that we put together about the Path to Dignity program that we're doing that you might enjoy.
Since 1946, Symphony of the Mountains has been at the center of artistic life in the Mountain Empire. Our mission of cultural excellence is at the heart of what we do by entertaining, educating, and enriching. Our fully professional orchestra performs repertoire representative of many regions and nationalities: European classical, American pop and jazz, Appalachian folk, and many varieties of world music. We have always communicated the value of our humanity to one another through music and art. That expression allows us to celebrate our values, enliven our spirits, and nourish our souls. Most recently, through the Paths to Dignity project, Symphony of the Mountains brought music into local shelters and provided a free concert in downtown Bristol to make symphonic music accessible to all people and provide nourishment for the soul. This concert was followed by a shared meal and a panel discussion in which our regular patrons and people who are unsheltered gained a deeper understanding of one another.
So what we've been doing is we've had our musicians or the Academy of Strings, all kinds of musicians. We have taken them to shelters and to food banks to play music for people who otherwise most likely wouldn't be able to hear us. That has been such a powerful experience, because music, I keep saying that, I think it's like music is for the soul what food is for the body. We think about helping with basic needs mostly, and that's rightly so, but music touches us in another way. And I think music has the potential to bring people together of all walks of life without even explaining or being complicated, but just we feel something together and we realize we are all human beings, no matter if you have a big villa or if you have to live on the street, we are all the same. And I think music has a power to unite us in a way like no other medium can. So that's our Path to Dignity newest outreach program. Okay, is it still working? Did I kill it? Sorry. Thank you. I just want to very quickly talk a little bit about the question I most often get is, how is it to be a woman in a man's job? I get that a lot. In Italian it's maestro, there's not even a maestra, so no female form, so no female conductors. So my very first experience with that was still in Zurich, but this is now 25 years ago. I had a chorus and I hired an orchestra to perform with that chorus, and I hired at that time a concertmaster from the Opera House of Zurich, a Slavic person, wonderful, wonderful musician. And so he said yes, and he signed the contract, and then I called him to talk through some details, and he said, well, and why isn't the conductor calling me? And I'm like, I am the conductor. And he said, well, I thought it's a little weird that you knew so much about the music, but you're a woman. And I said, yes, I am. And he said, well, then I can't play. Women just don't belong on the podium. So I was like, okay, fair enough, if he thinks that. 4 hours later, he calls me back, probably after his wife came home, and he apologized and then played for me, but I really had to prove that I knew what I was actually doing. Other than that, I don't care if my flute player is a man or a woman, or if, I don't know, whoever helps me at Food City is a man or a woman. As long as we're ourselves, I think we're just fine, and that's how I'm playing it. I'm not playing the women's or man card when I'm on the podium. So this is all really nice, but now of course I need to ask you for a favor. So A, there are brochures on your table with complimentary tickets. The concert this Sunday, the 29th, not this Sunday, the week after, at 3 o'clock at the farmer's market is free. But you can use those, it's like a voucher for any one of the concerts. So on Sunday, we are going to perform part of Handel's Water Music, Schubert's Unfinished Symphony, and then a Richard Strauss Horn Concerto, really, really fun piece. It's at the farmer's market, so it's great for families, for whoever wants to come. So what I would like for you to do is, please, if you're not already coming to our concerts, come, try one, and if you like us, bring your friends, talk about us. It's all good to have a billboard and an article in the newspaper for people who already know us. But to get people in the door for the first time, it's a personal contact. I mean, back to it's all about people. If you know somebody, please bring them and help us fill the halls. Now, to close my presentation, we come to a presentation with another outstanding guest artist we had here. His name is Carl Tanner. He was a truck driver and bounty hunter and was always singing. And then he was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna try to become a singer. So he moved to New York, and the director of a big opera house heard him when he was working in one of these restaurants where the singers, the waiters are singers. So he was performing there, and the guy hired him right away. Carl Tanner now has a world career. He sings in all big houses. And I would like to close my presentation with a clip of a concert he did here with us with the Lord's Prayer.